Hi everyone, welcome back to Trina's Tip Tuesday. You guys probably saw on Facebook and Instagram that we were going to have my friend Vincent from Cross Country Mortgage back on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you for coming back on.
You are most certainly welcome.
So we've had some hurricane damage here in the Panhandle, and one of the solutions that Cross Country Mortgage has is a disaster kind of program. So we're going to let Brian go ahead and talk about that, and if you have any hurricane damage, what you can do to help get some of those things fixed. So why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about who actually qualifies for this, and would their insurance not pay for them to have repairs done anyway?
Yeah, definitely. So I want to thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure to come on.
Thank you.
We did go through a hurricane about month ago, month and a half, and the goal is to help rebuild. So our goal as a lender is to help people get back into houses. One of the great programs that FHA allows is for 100% financing, which they've always been known for having to put 3.5% down, no matter what. But they do have a great program where if you've been displaced due to the hurricane, whether you're a renter or a homeowner currently, you have the opportunity to purchase another house with not having to put any money down. So that's one of the main goals of the program.
So what do you mean by displaced? Does that mean like your home is completely destroyed, or just has severe damage and you're in a hotel for a little while while it's being repaired?
Displaced would be if you can't move back into the property. Period.
Okay.
So, you're going to have to be able to prove that you were displaced. You can't just say, oh, I was part of the hurricane.
Well, can you take a picture of your empty lot? Does that prove that
There's a little bit more documentation that's going to be needed to do. But yes, I mean, that's essentially what you have to prove is like your house is no longer there. It's not habitable. And you've moved elsewhere temporary. And now you're ready to plant your start a new life and start a new home, and you got to figure out where you're going to be. If you're going to stay in your city that you lived in, because the hurricane touched Panama City. I mean the whole
Panhandle.
Right.
Basically.
So it's just up to you and what you're going to do afterwards. People lost jobs; they don't have a job to go back to. So
how does that work? So I've got a lot of friends that are over in Panama City, realtors. Okay, so they're realtors. They've lost all their inventory, gone. Their inventory's gone. Their personal home is gone. So they're not going to have any homes over there to sell for a little while. So how will they qualify for this? How does this?
So you basically, if you can get approved for an FHA loan, and once again, FHA, they go down pretty low on credit scores, so they go down to a 500. So as long as you can, prove that you can qualify for an FHA loan, then you would qualify for this loan.
Okay.
Now, FHA has certain loan limits, so depending on their county, it's going to depend on how much of a house they can buy. But it would just depend on, like Leon County was part of, a major county that was hit by the disaster. Well, in Leon County, the loan limit's $295.
Okay.
So if they're, purchasing a house and they go right around 310-ish, because, actually it'd be 295 if they're not wanting to put any money down. Normally you would have to put 3.5% down. So now you can help somebody buy a house all the way up to 295. To answer your question in regards to the insurance, normally your insurance would cover your house to be repaired if it can be repaired. Those probably not going to qualify if they plan on rebuilding their home.
Gotcha.
But if they decided, hey, I'm not moving back, I don't even want to live in Panama, not as Panama City, but
or even here in Tallahassee,
because they're afraid to get involved in another hurricane, then they have up to 1 year after the end date, which was October 19th, to purchase a house. It does not have to be in the same city.
Okay, so I've been in the hurricane. My home is severely damaged. It's inhabitable. I'm not going to move back in. I want to just move somewhere else. I'm in a hotel. What is the process? I call you and go, hey, Brian, I'm out of here.
We would take an application. We would document the fact that their home's no longer there. If you were renting, then you don't really have a mortgage existing, so we don't even have to worry about your current mortgage.
Because my insurance company is taking care of that.
Correct.
Okay.
So then you decide, one, where your next place you're going to move to is, because obviously you may stay in the city that you live in, or you have to go elsewhere. Just depends on what, I know a lot of people have lost their jobs, and then the jobs aren't even, there anymore. So you might end up having to move. Once you figure that out, we're ready to help. We've already helped some customers, already, and then we're almost ready to close on those loans. To help them in new houses. Some have been, they
so
don't.
This isn't a long process. It's not any longer than a regular mortgage. Okay, I was thinking it would take like 90 days or more.
No, actually, we can move as fast as we can get the documentation to our underwriter. Another thing about the existing mortgage, that existing mortgage does not count against your current income because that is eventually going to be paid off by the insurance. So FHA knows that that's going to go away, so we don't even have to include that existing payment in their debt ratio.
That's great.
It is good. Because if you had to qualify with both, then that's a totally different story. That's harder for people to qualify.
Well, it is, yeah. So how does that part of it work? How do we make sure that they're not counting that? That, I guess,
well, we would handle that for them during the processing of their file.
Okay. And you work with the insurance company to
Well, the insurance company, we don't work with the insurance company on their current situation, but we would help them get a new insurance policy.
Well, how do you make sure that that's being taken care of then? How do you guys
They will. I mean, we tend to make sure that, post-closing, that gets satisfied. I mean, it's not like we don't just worry about it. I mean, it's something that we'll look into down the road to make sure that they... we have to document that they can't move back into the house.
Okay. So you're not going to, at the last minute,
take the house away.
Oh my gosh, we need... Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so the other cool thing about this program is if you have lost your job because the job's no longer there, you're going to run into some, trouble, some financial troubles, after a hurricane. It's affected all of us in some form or fashion.
Sure.
But the program allows us to overlook any derogatory credit post hurricane.
Okay.
So that's one of the factors that, usually FHA says, hey, you can't have any lates in the last 12 months. Well, that's overlooked in order to help them get back into a house.
Okay. And if you already said this, I apologize.
No,
But
you're
how
fine.
how long do I have to make up my mind?
That is a great question because most people think you have like this 30-day, 90-day window.
Yes.
You actually have 1 year from the end date of when FEMA designated the hurricane was over. And,
So
and
for
for
us,
Florida, that was October 19th.
And we have 1 year.
1 year. So essentially October of 2019, October 19th of 2019.
Okay. So if any of you guys know of anybody that this program would work for, or even for yourself, Brian and I would love to help you take care of that. Right?
Definitely.
Okay, so give us a call. Brian's information will be tagged in this. And is there anything else that we overlooked that needs to be said that you can think of?
No, I mean, we're wanting to rebuild our community and get people back into their houses so we can all move on with our lives, and we're just here to help. So please give us a call. We look forward to serving your needs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. And thank you all for tuning in to another Trina's Tip Tuesday. And if you have any real estate related topics that you're curious about or that you would like for us to talk about, please don't hesitate to message me and let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Good job, Brian.
Got your little remote.
Yeah, it's not working though.